Hi guys, welcome back. We're going to talk about Saxon lesson, Pre-Algebra lesson 25. Today we're going to be talking about area. Let's talk about area. All right, so guys, get out your notes and your video section or your notes section and copy down everything that I'm writing because this is how you need to show your work, okay? First things first, area. We're going to talk about rectangles today for the most part. I might throw in some just rectangles for right now. So the area of a rectangle. This also includes squares because squares are a type of rectangle. Area of a rectangle is, we take this length and we multiply it by the width equals length times the width. So if this is 5 here and this is 10 here, I've done a terrible job of drawing it if that's the case. We take 5 times 10 and we would get we'd get 50 units squared. So whatever our units are. And guys, when I'm saying units, I'm meaning things like inches, yards, feet, things like that. So, so with that in mind, let's talk about that. The lesson today are going to be about these types of rectangles that are broken up. We see this guy right here. This is 6, this is 8, this is 12, and this is 4. All right, guys, to find the area of something like this, you got to think about finding the area of the big thing. Then we're going to take this little, you see how this extends out to right here? This guy is a shark bite, right? Shark came along, bit it. So we're going to subtract that from the large one, okay? Bigger minus smaller equals area. Okay, bigger minus smaller equals area. Make sure you're writing that down. All right, with that said, our bigger one is, the area of our bigger one is going to be, so big area equals our length times our width. So that means we're going to have big equals 8 times 12. Oops, that was terrible times. 8 times 12, right? Because this is 8 times 12 here, which means our big area equals, I can get my calculator out here. 8 times 12 gives me 96. I don't know why I had to use a calculator for that. It's a long day. 96. And guys, these dimensions are in meters, okay? So that's our unit. So that's going to be meters squared, okay? Now what we have to do is we have to find the dimensions of this little shark bite over here. And that's where it can get a little tricky. I'm going to grab a different colored pen here. So we see that this whole side over here is 8, which means this whole side over here is also 8. If this is 4, that means this guy has to be 4 because 4 plus 4 would give us 8, right? Now, this one is 12 down there, which means this up here is also going to be 12, right? That because this length matches this length. Well, if that guy is 6, we need to add 6 more to give us 12. So now we have the small area. So the smaller one, the dimensions, maybe I'll write small. Oh, that's what I get for looking. Ugh. All right, so small area, again, that's going to equal the length times the width. And the dimensions now are 6 by 4. So small equals 6 times 4, which means small equals 24 meters squared. So when we're talking area, make sure you've got that squared in there. All right, so now we have the big, we got to minus the small, right? That's our pattern here. 96 minus 24 gives us 2, and then 7, 8, 9, 72 meters squared. Meters squared. All right, guys, so what I want you to do is pause the video and go and do the practice problems on page 85, A and B, about halfway down the page there, and then come on back. Come on back and double check that you got the right work. All right, so we've got to find the dimensions of our big one here, right? So our big guy is going to be 8 times 10. Oh, these units are in centimeters, okay? We'll notate that up here so I don't forget. So the big guy is going to be 8 by 10. So that means our big area is going to be 80 centimeters squared. Now our small guy is going to be, let's come back up here. I'm going to dash those lines up to make, oh, that was a terrible square. What am I doing? How have I made it this long and I still can't draw squares? All right, so there's our shark bite, right? So we know that this has got to be 10 down here, which means this whole thing has to be 10. Well, I already have 4, which means this is going to be 6, okay? This whole thing has to be 8, which means this whole thing has to be 8. So 4 here, 4 there. So this shaded bit in here, we have those dimensions, and that is 6 by 4. So the smaller one is going to be 6 times 4, which equals 24 centimeters squared. So we take our big, we minus our small, we get 7, 10, so 5, 56 centimeters squared. 56 centimeters squared. You've got to have your units on there or I will totally mark it wrong. All right, so let's try B. All right, so I'm getting dry erase all over my face here. Dry erase all over my face. I'm rhyming, yay. All right, so I record a lot of these videos. 10 and 20, and this is 5, and this is 5. Okay, guys, so this one's shaped a little bit different, but we still do the same idea. Big, the big thing is gonna be 20 by 10. 20 times 10. Oh, units, before I forget, feet. Write that up there so I don't forget. They are in feet. So that means it's gonna be 20 times 10 is 2 with 2 zeros, 200 feet squared, 200 feet squared. Okay, now the small one, this one's a little bit different. It's this guy right in here, right? It's still a nice little shark bite that we got out of there, and conveniently they've given us the dimensions. It's 5 by 5, easy peasy. So the small is gonna be 5 times 5, which means it equals 25 feet squared. So we come over here, we do 200 minus 25, and that will give us 175 feet squared. All right, guys, if you have any questions, please let me know because this will keep coming up over and over again. And so if you don't understand it now, it's a good idea to ask. Otherwise, I will see you in class. Thank you so much.